Isn't it interesting how we like to put a timeline on things? Like we're supposed to feel something by a certain point or be over something by a certain point, and if we don't, we think we're messing up or somehow failing at something that we're expected to do. And that is what I think I really would like to talk about today, is grief and what we can do to help people that are grieving. Hi, I'm Kim Long, and I'm with Docha Psychological Services in Spruce Grove, Alberta. So first of all, I'd like to really illustrate the point that grief isn't just about death. It happens with any change we experience, because with any change, there usually comes some sort of loss, even if it's positive. Moving away to go to university is exciting, but it's a change. You're losing your youth. You're losing your being at home and some of your freedom in that way, even though you're gaining freedom. So it's really important, I think, to change our perspective of what grief is, that it's not just about death. People can grieve any kind of loss, whether it's through divorce, retirement, a breakup, losing an online relationship or friendship. And one of the best things that we can do is just let the person talk to you and genuinely listen. And what that means is you're not focused on giving them advice. You're focused on really sensing into how they're feeling and being able to reflect that back to them. And yes, they're going to repeat things. They're going to repeat things a lot. And you're going to be thinking, ugh, when are they over it yet? Especially when it's a loss that we can't understand or relate to necessarily. But what that person is trying to do is make sense of their new reality, how their life continues and fits given these big changes. So the best thing that we can really do is really just listen with compassion and patience, and understand that the hardest part is actually about to come. I know after both my parents died, we were so caught up in the administration of it that by the time we were ready to really face our feelings of what was going on, everybody else had moved on with their lives already. And so it became really difficult to talk about it because we were caught up in the paperwork when everybody else was grieving. So, you know, the time to really be there for people is, of course, right away, but also after the dust has settled, so to speak. And again, just listening. You don't actually have to do anything. You don't have to fix it for them. So that patience, and remembering too that grief doesn't ever end. And that sounds very dismal, and that's not what I mean. But the quality of our grief changes over time. It ebbs and flows, and some days are going to be better than others, and there's still always going to be that scar. So having patience when maybe sometime years later someone is having a low day because they remembered something about something that they lost that they loved. So lots of patience, lots of listening. It sounds like a broken record. When to know if someone needs help, though, is when the person isn't able to re-engage with their life again, that they just can't fathom moving on without whatever it is being present. So if you're ever unsure about that, feel free to give us a shout and ask questions about that. But really that's what you're looking for, is when they're having a hard time making meaning from it and being able to move forward in some way, understanding that their life can continue despite this big change that they are grieving. So really out of this is what I like to call the golden rule, but it's a bit of a tweak on the golden rule. And I like to say, do unto others as they need you to do, not as we need you to do, you know? So an example of this is that when I grieve, I tend to like to isolate, whereas other people I know tend to want to engage. if I treated people in their grief the way I want to be treated, I would kind of back away from them when they might actually need me. So just as a guiding principle, maybe do unto others as they need you to do, and the way to find that out is to ask them. So on a final note, as I'm wrapping up this video, we've been through a lot in the last few years, and there's been a lot of change and a lot of loss. So it's okay that you're grieving. It's okay that you feel uncertain, and I hope that you have people there for you to really just listen to you. And if you need anything at all, please feel free to reach out. Our number here is 780-446-0300, and you will probably speak with the amazing Lindsay. She will make you feel like you've walked into a warm hug. So yeah, if you have any questions about grief, you can also give us a call, and we'll be happy to talk you through it. And there's a lot of resources out there for you. So just take care of yourself, and until next time, we'll see you later.